I woke up in Eldunda Caravan Park in Ghan for the second morning. This time not so surprised to find the caravan park empty, knowing that everybody had probably already left for Uluru hours before. I was back on the Seward Highway, heading for Alice Springs, some 200 kilometres north. And this morning, the landscape unwinding before me was truly beautiful. In my mind's eye, I'd always imagined Australia's dead heart to be a vast, flat, desolate landscape, but it wasn't the case. It was teeming with life, and the topography was forever changing from flat plains to jagged mountain ranges, and semi-arid scrublands with nothing but low-lying bushes, to areas much greener with grasslands and tall trees abounding. I was travelling through Finke Gorge National Park, Owen Springs Reserve, and Juricha, also known as West Macdonald National Park. It truly seemed like I was in heaven. Sometimes, however, it was a long hard slog to stay entertained, so it was a welcome relief when something out of the ordinary would pop up. Like this cattle drive crossing the highway, complete with modern day cowboys riding utes and trail bikes. No horses in sight. The Seward Highway mimics to a large degree the same course as the old telegraph line that once spanned from Adelaide to Darwin, and in turn closely follows the route taken by John McDowell Stewart, who led the first successful expedition from south to north and back again in 1861 to 1862. Today, as was the case most days on my 8-day journey, I'd crossed many bridges across many rivers. And Charlie Rye Bridge, 16 kilometres south of Alice, crossed the Roe River, which, like many other rivers at this time of the year, July was dry as a bone. Wow. Most of the rivers are like this, hey? Wouldn't believe it, there's flooding at times. As I drew closer to Alice Springs, my attention was captured by this monolith of a rock jutting out of the surrounding plain. Like Uluru, it's another example of an inselberg. Once in Alice, it was this man-made monolith that first grabbed my attention, the Supreme Court of the Northern Territory, standing tall, firm, and omnipresent. Driving into Alice, I was a little nervous, aware of the riots that had been taking place over the last few months. Perhaps it was all just media hype though, or maybe it was because it was 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. Rest assured though, there was definitely no rioting on the streets today. In fact, if anything, it was eerily quiet for this world-famous town in Central Australia that had been chosen nearly 150 years ago as a relay station for an intercontinental telegraph line from Adelaide to Darwin. The brainchild of Sir Charles Todd, and whom Todd Moore here in Alice Springs had been named after. It's kind of embarrassing to admit to, but I only managed to spend about an hour and a half in Alice before moving on. My destination for the day was Barrow Creek, 300 kilometres north, so I really had to get a move on. The thing that was becoming obvious as I slowly made my way north was the changing climate. Everything was getting wetter, greener, and taller. Tea Tree Roadhouse, my last pit stop for the day. Darwin, here we come! In reality, Darwin was still a long way away. So I stopped for the night at Barrow Creek, a place that for some reason unsettled me almost as much as it intrigued me.